You don't play PSN. I play in the catacombs, bro. So like on PSN Online, one of the things that happens a lot, and you know, by the way, if you're watching this and you just play PSN Online, you're not competitive, just do what you gotta do to play the game online. Like I'm not really faulting you for playing one way or the other. But if you're going to talk about the game itself and the balance itself and how the game is played itself, and you're going to use your online experience to describe that, then I'm gonna keep it frank, you're not playing the real game. Keeper Security is the leading cybersecurity platform for protecting individuals, families, and businesses against password-related cyber attacks. Yep, I'm talking about hackers. These attacks can lead to identity theft, financial loss, and reputational damage. Experts predict too that cybercriminals will increasingly target the gaming industry over the next 3 years. So with Keeper Security, you can create strong, unique passwords, not the old passwords you've been using since high school, special ones for every account you use where you log in, but you can also keep them stored safely in your own encrypted vault. Visit keeper.io/Beastcoast and use code Beastcoast, that's in all caps, Beastcoast, for a 30% off promo code. Stay safe out there, my friends.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today, me and Lord Knight are going to be breaking down the new DBFZ system changes on the new patch that just came out. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment below. Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so what do we call this? Dragon Ball Season 4? Dragon Ball Season
It's not technically Season 4. I know people are calling it Season 4. It's just, it's like, let's call it Season 4. I think it's way easier.
I have been lovingly
I don't want to call it
3.9.
That'd be weird.
Like, I like lovingly. I'm like, oh, it's the fucking patch. They made so many changes that they're like, oh, whatever. Here we go. You want some crazy stuff? Here you go. There's a significant amount of system changes in this version of the game. As I've been lightly playing this patch, the more I think about the system, the more I'm like, oh, like at a glance, these are really drastic, but I think over time people find like really specific usage that they could apply across the cast as Dragon Ball tends to work. But I do want to go through these because it is quite significant, and there's going to be a lot of stuff you're going to have to think about with your characters and maybe with your teams.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the changes, yeah, from a glance, like they're definitely crazy, and I think they've all the other past patches, like they've had some pretty wild changes. So it's gonna take some time for sure for the players to kind of adjust their team strategies to like all the stuff that's happening. But yeah, the first like major change is this Z change, like tag mechanic, like. That is a crazy change. It's like on some like Marvel Infinite vibes with active switch, right? So you can cancel any special move like on hit or block or reflect into a like Z change raw tag. It's like this really fast raw tag, and you can get like combos off of it. You can do like some mix-ups from it. Yeah, it basically like creates a lot more situations where you can switch your team around, but it requires you to have your assist up though. That's like the main thing.
The biggest thing about this for me, a lot of people are thinking about offense, of course, but there's also what this does, and what you'll have to consider is that this thing makes it more of a team game than it ever has before, because now potentially you might have access to stuff that you have never had a chance to have. So for example, one thing that's pretty uncommon in Dragon Ball FighterZ is safe DHC. So characters having stuff like a Beerus DP into level 1 and things like that. Like once the level 1 starts with Beerus, there's not that much stuff you can do. I actually played a team in Season 3, Base Vegeta Trunks Broly, that had a couple of these safe DHC options.
No.
Now, though, you could have things like Master Roshi 4-frame, so 214L into tag, it's safe. Now it's safe. You get a safe tag off that now. You get a safe tag off your 4-frame armor reversal, right? It's not something you're used to having. So there's a lot of like new options, both offensively and defensively, that you're going to have as well. A lot of people are really focused on mix. I know you guys showed an example of Bardock, like Gotenks in Bardock.
Yeah.
And that's good, and I encourage you guys to do that. But there is also a little bit of landing recovery on the tag. So
10
like
frames,
So you have to find a way to kind of like work around that, or see if you could do like a left right or something. But don't just think about mix. There's also combos. There's also potential new level 3 setups. There's new defense, like I mentioned before. I think that's probably like the real big thing, is like your characters might have something that used to be locked to other characters just because they had like a certain type of move.
Yeah, for sure. I think the mix-up potential is definitely much more limited than it looks like on the surface. The 10 frames of landing recovery is incredibly significant, and is like the developers are definitely like, okay, if we don't have this, everyone will just high-low off of just like a bunch of stuff. So like we gotta be careful. So yeah, you have to like definitely find a really specific thing to like even get a mix-up from. But I think the Z change tag, when you use it for like for combos and whatnot, is going to be like the big one. So a thing I like made in like a video I made recently was when you raw tag, when you want to switch your character out, right? Like you kind of just like raw tag, and raw tag's like really strong, right? But the ways like you would cover a raw tag is you would call assist and then raw tag, and like the way the opponent could like punish that is they'd have to like jump over the assist and then like jump light it out of the air. So now what you can do is like you can use them like jumping into the air to like make them block like an air special or something. Like I had an example where you like make them block like SSJ beam in the air, and then you Z change tag off of that, and that's like a safe tag. So it's like more ways to like switch your team around. You know, if they're just looking for raw tag, you can like run up, do a block string with the special move, tag them out that way. So yeah, it definitely it's way more of a team game for sure. You're gonna be swapping out way more.
The next one I want to talk about is the guard cancel change, because there's two.
Yeah.
So there is the straight up guard cancel change, but there's two new guard cancels. There's the air guard cancel, and there's the guard cancel vanish. So as far as the air guard cancel, for people who are good at like, let's say, pushing into people's space a little bit more with normals, guard cancel in the air is not so effective against that. But for people who suck at the game like me, who use special moves to catch people in the air, you are going to find yourself struggling maybe a little bit, because it's really good against that type of structure, especially if you are using moves for like longer duration, like a Gotenks medium Beyblade as an example.
Yeah, for sure. The air guard cancel change, it's pretty inconsequential to the go-to anti-air strategy in Dragon Ball, which is air daring. Air daring is like a really important thing when it comes to stopping people from jumping in the game. All the air dare strings, for the most part, are safe to air guard cancel. But yeah, it's more like the special moves, like yeah, with the Gotenks Beyblade. Like another common one was like Team Gohan, like light, and then like L legs to the floor. Like you can air guard cancel that. Like with Piccolo, I would do like 3S and like anti-air them, and then like if I shoot through an orb afterwards, like I'd get air guard canceled now. So it's like it's tiny stuff, but you know, I understand that it does screw over some situations, but overall I think it's not as consequential as the guard cancel vanish, which is the next one. Yeah, which is like it's a crazy change. It costs 2 bars to do it. You have to press forward plus vanish in block stun, and you'll get basically an invincible like guard cancel vanish. If it hits them, you don't like get a combo off of it or anything. It just kind of knocks them away. But it's a huge change, and it lets you get out of a lot of like offensive situations that you normally couldn't before with regular guard cancel.
The example they showed is really good, actually. I was saying on my stream, because that guard canceling the first hit of Kid Buu was like low key. That was some stuff that top players knew, but they didn't talk about, right? For example, did they use that
in there? Yeah.
So like, I think it was a really good example, because like at the time, so like on both sides too, because they show how like Kid Buu's A assist changed. So like you needed to know the exact hit of the Kid Buu A assist to guard cancel, or else you were screwed, type of thing. Now I think it's like more straightforward. If you have the extra resource to just get out of this type of stuff, it's probably going to be a lot harder to come up with builds against guard cancel vanish, unless you're doing stuff like playing a command grab character, because you remember they like mix-ups where the defender can interact a lot, so that's why they're giving you this stuff. As a side note, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of the air guard cancel change. I get why they do that, because they want more risk to be applied always, and like a lot of these like Piccolo 3S, for example, like you're on the ground, relatively safe. When you catch them, you get like an offensive situation, so they want people to get out of that. But like it's already hard to catch people in this game, so like when they do stuff like this, the guard cancel vanish change I think is actually pretty good. Let's say not even like for me, like just for the general player, like some of these offensive structures, they're not gonna go and be like, all right, but how do I get out of this, like for real, right? Like some things, some structures, people are just like, you can't get out of this, and they just like fold. So now they have like a even stronger thing that costs more resource, but like you get a lot of meter in Dragon Ball anyway.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
I think that's like honestly really fine. But like it's already so hard to catch people in the game, I feel like, and with additional stuff that we're gonna go through later, I just low-key feel like they are really encouraging you to play certain characters that like they don't directly apply pressure to you, but like you have to like kind of be like, if they come near me, they have like this thing coming or that thing coming, or this assist is coming, or something like that. It's just personal.
Yeah, for sure. I showed in the showcase there was an example showed with how it actually works against like command grab characters too. If you like time like a command grab like right after the throw invincibility ends, or like you do a stagger string, like you can guard cancel vanish there. So like even like versus like grapplers, like a command grabs, like it actually has some application, which is pretty useful, I think. But yeah, it's gonna definitely affect like certain types of offense, and it gives you more of an option. Stops Hellzone grenade plus assist. I'm a little bit sad about that, but it's okay.
We'll can take one there.
Yeah,
One.
The system's bringing my man down again. Come on.
All right. So Dragon Rush. The Dragon Rush during key charge. So if you press a medium attack during a key charge, you can now do a Dragon Rush, and the key charge is faster than before too. They're really trying to make this a thing. I'm kind of glad too, because like it's pretty funny that we're playing a Dragon Ball fighting game and we don't do Dragon Ball stuff, like yell at each other with key charge and stuff. So even though they tried to make it a thing in season 3, there wasn't really that many people who tried to make it work. So now they're giving you more incentive to use it. I low-key think this helps lower level play. Basically, this change to me just looks like, oh, people struggle against Android 21 and Broly, so here you go for like just like the low to mid level.
Yeah, now you can charge through the key blast. But yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I don't really see it being used the same. Like, I think at low level play it'll be fun, but I don't really see people like key charging through key blast. It's not really the best way to deal with zoning, in my opinion. But it's an option now. It's frame 1 like in Volta to key blast now, and I think like the key charge into Dragon Rush, I think that's like helpful like for some C assist combo enders, maybe to like if you need to get the extra distance on your Dragon Rush to combo it. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, it's not really huge in my opinion, but it is there.
The next one is truly big though, and and by the way, we were talking before we even recorded this, they keep buffing sparking and people forget. Like they buff sparking again. So this change is now your sparking won't run out while you're comboing somebody, which I wish they had this years ago, because I have sharp memories of playing in tournament and being like, it's fine, and then I need to do like a held vanish or something. I'm like, oh, I got like 2 seconds left, and no, I don't, and I do the normal vanish instead, and the crowd's like, why did you do that? And so like this one is like literally the definition of a quality of life. The main thing though is that only during limit break.
It's only during limit break. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're waiting for me to say it.
I was like, oh, it's not for sparking level 1. So yeah, I think this also incentivizes you to hold your sparking for level 3. Level 1 spark is such a powerful option, like in DBFZ, and it's been since the beginning of the game, even when they added like limit break. So I think they want to maybe incentivize level 3 sparking like a little bit more. Like it happens, it definitely does happen. People do like save it for like the situations if you have like a strong anchor like Broly or like base Goku or something. So this is definitely going to make them much more scary when they have the sparking, because when they hit you, like your sparking will last to like their last character very easily if you're just getting the hits like one after another like through your entire combo. So yeah, that's like the main play. So maybe you'll think twice about like doing the level 1 sparking now, and you're like, maybe I should just rob them with a TN in my case. So
yeah, this goes back to the discussion of last season to like, how do we feel about limit break, when do we use sparking? And I low-key thought at the end limit break is kind of like a half sparking in its own right, and then it just kind of depends on like what type of match flow you want for your team, like how does your team win games type of thing. So for the most part, it turned into everyone is generally trying to level 1 spark, but there are cases where you don't use the spark, like basically like you didn't think you're going to die is like the main time you don't do it, and then like, all right, maybe I'll save it for the last character type of thing. Despite this change, and like I actually like this change, like legitimately like this change, despite this change, I actually think level 1 spark is still going to be like the thing.
I agree.
But this is definitely a thing to help people stay in the game, because they've been struggling with this. Like it or hate it, honestly, they really want people to always feel like they have a chance. And like a lot of times when you're on one character, even with Spark, if you're not playing specific characters, it's just really hard to do. So this one should help a little bit more. This is another one that I think is going to help out all of like low and mid-level players for sure. I should say low level. I should say beginner players. Low level sounds like mean. Okay, low level.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But yeah, the next change is they remove some chip damage caused by some Z assists. It's pretty minor. Like it's not really a big deal. The real big change I think was to C assist. They like nerfed the cooldown on C assist. C assist always being a controversial topic when it comes to high level play, but yeah, now it's like a pretty large amount of time longer than before when you call a C assist. When you call it like in neutral, like it's gotta like you better be hitting them or it's gotta work, you know? Like it's a really long period of time. And they buffed some C assists as well to maybe like kind of be in line with this change because there's a lot more stronger C assists now, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really feeling this. Like, I already thought that you need to not miss with the C assist already with the 12-second cooldown. So with the additional cooldown, you really, I think they're targeting beam more than anything else because there are a ton of tracking C assists, right? Yeah. How popular they are tend to vary. Like if you play Majin Buu, you know you're playing Majin Buu.
Yeah, that one's a really good one.
But C beam ended up becoming really popular because it made it so like everybody can confirm off beams and not like certain characters, and then you don't have to use additional resources, which is kind of nice. So I think they had that in mind. So if you're still playing a C beam, like I'm still gonna play my C beam, for example. I mean, I already had the thought like, hey, I can't whiff this type of thing. Like this needs to connect and get me in, or I need to hit them and get a combo. But it's just something that's gonna be even more top of mind, I think. I don't know what the exact time is, if it's like 14 or 16. But it being longer, huge deal.
Yeah, for sure. I thought at first this is like a change for because most of the NA players don't really use C assist. Like
C beam is really popular in Japan.
But in Japan, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So in Japan, like a lot of the nationals, like a lot of them use Kid Buu C, and in Kazunoko's case, he used Gotenks C. So I wonder if like this change was based off of that, or was it based off of like low mid level play? Low mid level play uses a lot of C assist, I've noticed. So I'm not really sure, but yeah, the change is what it is. But yeah, it is a nerf to C assist for sure.
Okay, so this one is weird, and I haven't like totally checked it. Is the one about Vanish, and it's invincible from the beginning if the opponent is performing a Vanish. So I know you guys mentioned it was for Guard Castle Vanish.
Yeah, it's for GC Vanish. Yeah.
But I also low-key thought like it's something to help online because it's very common online. You don't play PSN. I play in the catacombs, bro. So like on PSN online, one of the things that happens a lot, and by the way, if you're watching this and you just play PSN online, you're not competitive, just do what you gotta do to play the game online. Like I'm not really faulting you for playing one way or the other, but if you're going to talk about the game itself and the balance itself and how the game is played itself, and you're going to use your online experience to describe that, then I'm going to keep it frank, you're not playing the real game. And one of the examples is Vanish. A lot of people online use Vanish as a defensive option. ApologyMan, I know, we both play tournaments. Ain't no way nobody's getting that. No. No, it's a very small, so it's like held Vanish, call Roshi, held Vanish, Team Gohan. That's basically it. That's all you get. Like you don't really get to do that. So I've been really thinking this is a change for online because like nobody does the Vanish fast enough, the counter Vanish fast enough. And for the most part, like one of the biggest differences between me playing online and me playing offline, because I'll play like random players online, like casual queue or something. Is like sometimes, I mean, you're already waiting for Vanishes offline in certain spots, but like online, you wait way more often because it's much more consistent actually to wait in 2H and to do counter Vanish. So I think this makes counter Vanishing online easy.
Yeah, just a bit easier. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess I take it for granted. Like it's like, oh, they vanish, I'll vanish back. Duh. But yeah, no, I'm sure before, like if you were not fast enough, like you would just get counter hit out of your own vanish for not doing it quick enough. So this makes it so like it's like down to like the last frame, like right before vanish hits you can still vanish because you'll be frame one like invul two vanishes essentially, so you can vanish back. So yeah, it'll make that easier. I actually didn't really consider that. Yeah, that's a good change.
Yeah. When I was watching the showcase, I was like, "No, this is a net play change, bro."
I actually didn't think about
100% a PSN net play change. But I think it's a really, really good change, and it'll help out so much with like, for lack of a better word, like just ignorant players who are just like mashing on your stuff. And like, I've made content about like, how to deal with this and that, and people are like, "Yo, I can't vanish back. Like, I just can't." And I'm like, "How?" And then I'm like, oh wait, they play on PSN. Like, I get it. I think this one.
Yeah, bro, you're in the trenches. I don't know what goes down there.
You had to really understand what people needed help with. I had to do it.
Yeah,
I had to do it.
Man's in the trenches. I didn't understand. All right.
So this
yeah,
I actually want you to explain a little bit more, actually, because this one was very odd to me. So the scaling, the way the way it's written, okay, it says key gauge increase scaling is now only dependent on time, not the opponent's status, and they lengthen the time during which the key gauge increase scaling applies. The example you guys showed was a great example, but I was still like,
yeah, so it's for EX moves. EX moves in the past, when you hit them or made them block, when you hit them, you would be in a full meter penalty forever. Like, you would never build any meter with that combo, like, no matter how long it was. Now it's a set period of time. So when you hit the EX move, you just have to waste enough time for that meter penalty to end, and then you'll get your meter back, right? So the reason this time thing is an important thing, it's less to do with like number of hits in the combo, right? So let's say you have an EX move like Cell, who he does EX perfect attack, does the flips, then he gives you a big hug. Like, all that time he's doing the flips and hugging you, like, that is going towards the time that you need to waste to get your meter back, your meter gain back. That's gonna help like a lot of EX moves, like I guess like some command grabs where they like put you in like a cinematic, like that helps a lot.
Yeah,
like a base Goku,
yeah.
base Goku got like a speed buff to his command grab actually, so he kind of like chucks you and then like punches you. So like that is all like helping towards the meter penalty time you need to waste to get your meter back, and like maybe end with the super that you like normally couldn't have at the end of your combo or something.
Really interesting change though, because I don't actually remember why they did the original EX meter penalty. So like way back, we're going way back for this one, but in season, I want to say 2, they added a bunch of meter penalties to fit, like different meter penalties. I believe in season 1 there was meter penalty, but
yeah, it
not
was there
on
in season 1. It was there in season 1.
Yeah, it was not on supers at all though. And then like it was kind of the same for all meter usage except for supers. And in season 2 they started scaling it, so like Vanish had a little bit, EX was forever, and then a super hitting was forever also. And then I'm probably forgetting a couple.
No, also Vanish was forever also. Like when you hit them with like a combo into Vanish, yeah. So yeah, it was like for EX moves and Vanish, like whenever you hit it, you were just like you knew you were just not getting meter from that combo. Like it's always kind of like been like that. Still like that for Vanish, but now no longer for EX moves. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This definitely benefits some characters a lot still, which is nice. We have jumps. This is actually one of the biggest changes in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty massive. Yeah.
Any move that puts you airborne that's not a jump is now treated as a super jump, which means you get float options and fast fall options off way more things than you used to. And actually this change too, like low-key, I think it like stealth buffed a couple of things, because for example, I'm a lovely Gotenks player, I'm very educated and gentlemanly, and it feels like, even though it doesn't feel like the M spin has like float on it, it doesn't feel like it has the same land recovery that it used to, which is pretty interesting. So it also moves like a Vegeta Rocket Kick now has a high jump on it, Goku Black, EX Teleport. And what this does now is that instead of breaking your hands on like, instead of having to overextend to set up, because you have to kind of overextend to set up the super jump install input, but 2, you gotta kind of break your hands to do it too. Now you just do the move and it's there. It makes it accessible to everybody, and it gives, unlike the Z change, which like a lot of people are like, now we got mix. It actually is not going to give you like a ton of mix, but it's going to create some pretty interesting stuff. This one is literally like this one is literally mix. Like,
yeah, for sure.
There's not much to say.
Yeah, no, for sure. It adds it to like super dash also. Like if you super dash then double jump, you'll be in a float state, which is another really big one. But yeah, this is going to be really big for some characters. Normally like rocket kick. For Vegeta, for example, if you were like in the corner, like if you just fell afterwards, like your 2L wouldn't reach. You'd have to, now it'll put you in the super jump float state. You can float downwards towards them and use a block stun assist that's high enough to like let you get the high-low there now. But yeah, before, like, you could like super jump, install like your normals, and then like cancel it into special moves that would be super. It was really hard, and you had to commit to do that. Like, it wasn't like something you could just easily set up. Nobody was just doing that in neutral. Like, that's not, it was hard and like unrealistic. But now you can just do whatever normal block string, whenever you want to use the special, you'll be in the float state, so you can do some float left-right mix-ups that are really hard to block.
The next one, and it's one of the last ones, and this one is like a pretty big one. I like low-key think this is the last really important change, even though people kind of like looked over this a little bit. When you hold the S button now, you just super jump. So this does a bunch of things.
Huge.
One, if you never learned how to do the moon jump technique like the right way, now you have it on one button. The old way of doing it is either you need a cheat box so you could just do it, or you had to hold a button. I hold L, and then you need a dash macro, and then you gotta like input it a certain way. But once you get it, you are really able to move in a unique way and appear in places that you shouldn't really be able to get to unless you do this. Now it's quite easy with the S button. But this also, it helps and hurts characters too. So I actually posted a couple of days on Twitter. I play Gotenks, you know, your Gotenks player, the standard ghost setup. Basically, all my ghost setups use the S button to fire the ghost. And now I can do basically the classic Gotenk setup. Shouts to Subatomic Sabers for making that video. That setup is basically unnecessary, and now you could do just nonsense super jump fastball mix-ups while not pressing any buttons for free, because you just automatically get a super jump, and you don't have to worry about how far you are from the corner, because you just get a super jump automatically, so you will always make it to the corner of your ghost. It's actually an incredibly subtle, because they snuck it in there, but like it's honestly quite a huge buff to Gotenks.
No, yeah, for sure. The super jump macro is huge, and I think like any player can really use it now. Like I think a big thing in like lower and mid-level play is the lack of the super like dash, super jump, float, and like fast falling movement. It's like a huge part of a high level play, and I think it's just gonna make it easier for everyone to like use that. You can do the Goichi jump, like the moon jump, like much easier now. All you have to do is like hold down the S button in like some situation, and then like buffer a dash jump, and you're doing it. This also helps a lot for super jump re-jump combos. So a common thing that you could do, and everyone has, like, a lot of characters have re-jump combos, and you would just do a normal jump re-jump combo, and you would do like good damage for the most part. But some characters got like even more damage if they could do a super jump re-jump. Doing that manually before was so hard. It's incredibly hard. You break your hands doing it. Now you can do whatever, like 5H, super dash, and you press super dash, which is HS. You can just let go of the H button, keep holding the S button, then do your re-jump like you normally would, and you're doing it super jump installed. So I think that's like a really big change for making the super jump re-jump combos easier. And yeah, using it in neutral is going to be a huge one. Like maybe you're like blocking Broly's projectiles or like his 5S. You could like reflect. That uses the S button. You're holding the S button now. You can like block a little bit more or like reflect a little bit more, and then you can just buffer like the super jump like dash movement like really quickly. You can do it in block stun. You can do it while you like hide it inside of like a normal. Like another common one was like you'd IAD back with a button and then like hold S, and you can like kind of buffer it there. So yeah, I think it's like a huge change, honestly. There's a lot of places all players can use this. Like I think I'm definitely going to be using this a lot. I'm going to throw out my Piccolo orb, hold S, and do my dash super jumps. It's going to be great. I think I'm looking forward to it.
And the last change is like kind of a weird one. I'm definitely going to need you to lead on this about deflecting key blasts.
Yeah, no, this one is just for special moves that would go through Key Blast, or like there was just scenarios like you couldn't actually like cancel like your Key Blast into like a DP, for example, or like a 2H. So like, if Blue Goku does like his M tackle through your Key Blast, now if like your Teen Gohan, for example, and you're shooting 5S, you can cancel on him deflecting into like a DP now. Like that's kind of like the extent of it. So before, like, you couldn't really do that before. It's just to like kind of universalize like how it is when you deflect Key Blasts. So yeah, it's a nice change. Just kind of trying to, because they added more projectile invincible lariats actually in this game. So I think they're like, oh, we got to make sure that that it works how it's supposed to, I guess. But yeah, and then there was a buff to supers, like double supers. It's mostly I think there are some scenarios where it is like worth it for sure. Like Goku, he can do like double supers now. He had a buff to his like teleport up Kamehameha. So there's actually just like some optimal combo routes where you just do his like TK'd forward super, and then you can just go into his teleport up Kamehameha, and that's like worth it damage wise if you just want to spend and end it with 2 bars. So and like that, I showed a situation in the showcase where I do like Piccolo super into double Tien super. It does like a little bit more damage than doing Piccolo super into Tien super into like the pump, like the extra level 1. So it does like a tiny bit more damage. So there are situations where it is worth it. It's not like double supers are back. They're not back like the same way they are in season 1, but there's some usage for it now.
Yeah, that one to me looked like just a mega optimization station type of one. Like I was talking about a personal example I had when I was playing Base Vegeta Trunks Broly, where spending 4, like doing like the toss, Base Vegeta level 1, Broly level 1, Trunks level 1, Trunks level 1 was actually the best combo you could do Ender for 4 bars. But like that's not very common in this game, in that version of the game at least. So like this helps a little bit with that for those characters who have that thing available, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that was a lot. They did a lot of stuff. This was definitely a major patch. They kind of memed up saying they were doing a little patch in August. They did a ton of stuff between this and the characters. As usual, if you guys have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.